here that no, he didn't go down. He continued to go up.
And that's why
And,
his name is on so many things out at on the campus of Tennessee State University.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
also, Mr. Gentry, we know that you have been involved in politics, and indeed at a time when not only women were not involved in politics, but black people in general were not involved in politics. Let's talk about some of your political experiences and some of the breakthroughs that you were able to achieve during that time.
Well, let me tell you what happened to me and to Inez Crutchfield. Back, I don't really remember the year, but it was in the 60s. I can't remember the lady's name who asked Inez to come to a Democratic women's meeting downtown at the what was the hotel down there downtown?
Was the Hermitage?
Hermitage, maybe the Hermitage, but I'm not positive right now. But that's where they were holding their meetings. And there were several of them in there, including Annabelle Clement and some others whose names you might remember here. Several of them were ready to integrate the Democratic Women's Club of Davidson County. Not all of the members, but a few. So one had asked Inez to come to a meeting. So Inez told them that if Carrie will go with me, I'll go, I'll come. So sure enough, Inez and I went downtown to the, let's say it was the Hermitage Hotel, and we were very, very, very uptight and not too comfortable at all going in the front door of that hotel, not the back door, but the front door of that hotel, and into the area where they were having the meeting. When we were introduced as in that meeting and as possible members, you could hear a pin drop. But as I've heard Inez tell this at a meeting sometime in recent times, and I remember this, it was very, very quiet after we were introduced, but Annabelle Clement spoke up and said, "Isn't this nice?"
All right now.
So that sort of broke the ice.
Very good.
And we felt a little bit more comfortable in there. But the first meeting or so, it was not the most comfortable thing in the world, but we did, of course, remain, and we did go to the meetings afterwards, and Inez became the first black president of the Davidson County Democratic Women's Club, and I became the second black president of the Davidson County Democratic Women's Club. But since that time, like many other things here in the city, things have progressed.
Very good.
They have gotten better than they were. There are quite a number of black women in the Democratic Women's Club in this present day. So that has improved. A lot of other things have improved in Nashville, Tennessee. All things are not as they should be, but nevertheless they've improved
But you've had an opportunity over the many years to watch the kind of progress that people, and a lot of folks don't seem to be able to appreciate that, Mr. Gentry. You've always been involved in bringing out the vote and talking about, why don't you say something about the importance of the vote from your perspective over the last minute and a half that we have here?
Oh, absolutely. The people that you want to be in office cannot get in office unless you support them. And by support, I mean financially, as well as going out to vote. Your vote, your one vote, is tremendously important, but in order for that candidate to be elected, I would suggest that you need to take about a dozen more by the hand and take them on with you, because there are so many out there who are not going to take the time to go to the polls unless they are just sort of encouraged to go. And the main thing is to remember that in order for people to be elected, that you have to go and vote for them. I think about who would have ever thought, talking about Nashville, Tennessee, who would have ever thought that Howard Gentry Jr. Would be vice mayor at this particular time. Certainly back there in the 60s, we did not visualize that, but we knew that if we worked hard at whatever it was that we were involved with, that it would get better.
Okay.
And that one day it might get to be the way that it should be.
Very good. And of course, Mr. Gentry, let me thank you over the last 10 or 15 seconds that we have here for that excellent information and that excellent profile. And let me encourage our audience to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Congress. Thank you and good morning.